Hey, what's up? It's the Political Brown Kid here, back again. Now, as you all have noticed that over the last couple of weeks, I've made a few videos just in relation to showing a few of the just kind of pointing, really directing the videos at the quote unquote female divestors who are divesting and dating black men and want to throw themselves at white men. And so those videos had featured several black females who had been deleted by the white counterparts that they had attempted to hook up with or who had hooked up with. Or one was an attempted deletion. Where I'm going at is this. With this video right here, I'm just kind of showing the kind of contradiction that we as black men face when we're dealing with black women. A lot of times it gets frustrating. And once again, I'm going to say this. I'm not trying to beat up on black females. Not at all. This video is not at all doing that. So please, if you're listening to this, don't take this as beating up on black females. I'm a black male heterosexual. So I can't speak on, the frustrations that from a black female perspective. I can't talk from that perspective. So the only thing I can do is direct you and say, if you want to get that kind of content, I would definitely recommend doing a balance, listening to me so you hear it from a male's perspective, and then listen to some people like Helena Pascal. I think she's relatively a nice YouTuber from the few videos that I watched of hers. She gives impartial judgment. She critiques both men and women. She praises both men and women. I think she does a very good job on her channel. Not to say I agree with everything. I don't agree with everything everyone says, but I think she does a decent job. So I'm just kind of letting the ladies know who listen to my channel, definitely check her channel out after listening to me here and getting a balance. You always want to have balance in your life. I do that all the time. I listen to both Fox News and liberal stations. And it's not because I'm a Fox News supporter. It's just because I like to hear what the other side's talking about. I like to get a complete perspective on both sides and hear where both sides are coming from. So with that being said, what I want to talk about here is just the contradictions and sometimes the confusion that and frustration, at least from my part, I can't speak for other black males, when you're kind of dealing and trying to have relationships with black females. So from those three articles that I did videos on where white men were deleting or attempting to delete black females in the dating pools, you can take a look at the pictures of these white males and even white males in general. When we have to deal, when I say we, I'm talking about black men. When we have to deal with black women, a lot of times the black women that want to be with a black male or that we encounter with on the most day-to-day, and not to say that I'm in the best of shape, so I already know that I need to work on myself to become, I'm not perfect. I'm not morbidly obese or anything like that, but I am still on the heavier side and I need to work on that. But also at the same time, I recognize, understand that, and, I shoot my shot at whomever because I've been able to pull, I used to, at least in the real world perspective, I'm able to interact and at least get the attention of a lot of nice black females. But on dating apps, no, not so much. But when you're dealing in the world that I'm talking about, black females a lot of times are heavier. And this is the same thing that Kevin Samuels was trying to speak to. And trust me, I know females don't like to hear his name, but he was correct in one sense that, and maybe his delivery wasn't what you wanted, but sometimes it's not the delivery. You have to listen to the message. But when we deal with black females, they're heavier and they tend to say, you need to accept me for who I am. They tend to want to wear a lot of wigs and thick eyelashes and a lot of cosmetics or, false things to make themselves, whether it's the nails, all this other stuff. And, it's expected that we have to deal with that. But at the same time, when you look at females, and like when you look at the Kendra G show, and Kendra G isn't, and I also tell women to check Kendra G out. I think Kendra G is cool. But when you watch her show of Kendra G's and have to tell the females, listen, if I allow you all to wear wigs, they're allowed to wear hats. Because then the females are like, well, I need to see what your head look like, and I need to see this and I need to see that. They get to say this under the luxury of wearing lace front wigs, wearing weaves, wearing extensions, wearing eyelashes. But yet if we just wear a hat, we're trying to be deceptive. If we wear sunglasses, we're being deceptive. But females get to do a lot of things that we don't get to do, and they want us to accept them doing it, but we cannot do it. They get to wear Spanxes and girdles and all of these things. We can't really get to do that. I wouldn't say I would want to, because I like to present myself as I am. That's why I don't dye any of my hair, because like I said, I'm in my 40s now, so I'm getting grays. But look, I'm presenting myself as is. What you see is what you get. And I'm going to rock it and try to rock it as best I can. But who I am is who I am. So that's one thing. And also, too, on that same note, it seems to be the females that are, slender. Like I say, when you talk about fit, feminine, and friendly, when you talk about the 3 F's, those females tend to be chasing non-black men, those black females. Those are the ones you either see them in the streets and they're with non-black men. I see it all the time, and I'm in a black city. And that's what you see. So so they expect black men to deal with the attitude, with the weight, with certain typical behavior. But then when you watch these channels of there's videos out there of channels that's showing of black women trying to show other black women how to date outside their race. The first thing those women are telling those black women to do is work on your attitude, work on your fitness, and just work on being, cooperative. And I don't know why females hate that word, but work on being cooperative or collaborative, whatever word you want to make it say, but just work on being amicable and agreeable with your partner and not being so combative. They'll switch up and do that for white men, but they won't do it for black men. So once again, that's the other issue that I have. Another issue that I have is you'll hear a lot of times, people talk about choosing signals, and once again, I'll say his name again, Kevin Samuels used to talk about choosing signals and women need to give those. I don't get those choosing signals. And I think a lot of black men, correct me if you put some comments in the comment section, and maybe I'm missing them. When I was in college, I got choosing signals from black females. When I was in college, I got choosing signals. Those choosing signals was relatively, they were, I guess it's proper word overt, but they were blatant. Should I say they were blatant choosing signals. I could readily pick up that, hey, she's kind of initiating something here. There was one girl from California I definitely missed out on in college. I remember it to this day. She definitely was throwing me signs, and I didn't pick up on it. Somebody told me a week or so later that she was feeling me, and I was like, dang. And she was a Cali girl. She was pretty. She was fine, and like nice demeanor. But by that time, the moment had passed, I was already talking with somebody else on the campus. So I missed that shot. But today, in my 40s, as I'm 45, I don't get that. Like, I definitely don't. Like, females are to themselves. They don't say anything. They don't make eye contact. The facial expressions are like looking like, leave me alone. It's a lot of the signals that I get are stay away from me. And so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because when I see black females with white men, or when you see them online, they are giving they're not even giving choosing signals. They're literally falling and soliciting themselves to white men. Ooh, you white, do you date chocolate? Do you love chocolate? Do you date black women? They're literally putting themselves out there for white men. They don't do that for us. Well, not for me. Let me say for me. They don't do that for me. They don't explicitly state, I want you when they're dealing with black men. They don't throw us, they make us pursue and chase, pursue and chase. So tying in with that, the other frustration that I see is the same way the girl in Milwaukee, I forget her name, I think it was Sade Robinson, I think. The same way that when you look at her circumstance, first date, she went out to, number one, she dated a bartender. He was a bartender. Second of all, they just went out for drinks, to meet up for drinks. And then the third thing was she wound up over his house. Now, once again, I'll state this. Maybe he forced her to her house. I highly doubt that. I think that there would have been signs of kind of like a struggle or something to that effect, maybe on cameras or maybe in his car or something. But I think she went over there, probably not even to have, intercourse, but she went back to his house. And then that's where, she met her demise, unfortunately. And once again, I'm not trying to demean the dead. I'm pointing out the facts. So, but in this circumstances, number one, how many black females want to date bartenders? They shoot us down if we're, whatever profession we have, it's not good enough. If we're not a rapper, if we're not a DJ or producer or a future NBA player, an actor, or a singer, they look at these as luxury professions. They don't look at just being a project manager as being a luxury. They don't probably know what they do. But if you're not a lawyer, a doctor, if you're not somebody important or entrepreneur, women love to sing to a guy who claims he's an entrepreneur and everybody's breeding French bull puppies or Frenchies, whatever you want to call them. I don't know how these dogs are still worth $20,000, $10,000 when everybody's breeding them. But I digress. But they just want entrepreneurs, CEOs, bosses, and whatever from black men. Then when they give us a shot, take them out for drinks, they're not doing that. They are not interested in going out for drinks. They want a meal. They want a $300 meal. And then to go back to your house? No, heck no. Black women don't do this with us. Black women don't just run off with us and go straight to our house. This is another video. Matter of fact, the guy, Accountable Commentary, you can look him up. He's online. Accountable Commentary. I've listened to his channel. I don't agree with everything he says, but he makes some very valid points. He's a very educated brother. I will say that. He did a video showing that it was some black females in DC, and she was talking about how when her girlfriend, her black friends, one of her friends got divorced, they went to a bar down in Adams Morgan, which is like the little bar hop scene. If you're in this area, you know about it. And apparently one of her friends just started tongue kissing some white dude in the corner for 5 minutes, and she claimed she went over there and broke it up. The white guys invited them back to their house. They went back to the house and they hung around, and the white guys were trying to run trains on them. And then they left. That's what she claimed. This was coming out of her mouth. So once again, here's some black females immediately go straight over to the white man's house, immediately kissing the white man in the club. We don't get that type of treatment from black women. We just don't. They're scared. They're scared. Hey, I ain't going back to your house. I'm not doing anything with you. Or they're just trying to make us wait it out. But with white men, they just feel so comfortable. So comfortable. And they get let down just as much as they get let down by us brothers. I don't understand it. So, and then also too, the frustration is when you look at the standards that black women hold black men to as opposed to the standard that they hold white men to. And I'm just talking about right now, I can talk cosmetically and even professionally. We have to look top notch. We have to be cream of the crop, top notch, great looking black men, fantastic looking bodies, even in your 40s. And like I said too, it's no reason for me to have slouched and let myself go. But I'm working on myself. But everybody, you just can't be rock hard and chiseled all the way through. But now I understand being single, that's one thing that the ladies want, even though they themselves are not. They don't look anything like what they demand of men. But we have to be, as black men, fantastic looking in the face. We have to be well groomed. And when black women when they say well groomed, that means we have to have name brand stuff on that exhibits wealth, Like we have to have a Rolex or whatever kind of watch. People are naming watches I've never even heard of. I don't even buy watches. I got a watch on my phone, so I don't need a watch on my wrist. I don't understand why I would invest in something like that when I can invest in securities. You can invest in a lot of other things and invest in something that's going to depreciate with values, guns and butter, as Ving Rhames said in Baby Boy. But we have to display our wealth. We have to wear name brand clothing that Black people know and respect. And we just have to dress a certain way. When they date white men, those white men dress nothing like that. They're in running gear all the time. They're in surfer shorts all the time. Trust me, I see it. These men, I've seen them sloppy, overweight. They can look. I've seen Black females with dudes that look like they're straight out of West Virginia or straight off Duck Dynasty or whatever the name of that show was. They go out with those men. With Black men, we have to have a particular look, a particular swag. I don't make this stuff up. So these are the frustrations that Black men are feeling and that we face. And then it's like as soon as we do one thing wrong, then, it's red flag, I'm out, red flag, he did this, he said that, it's a red flag, I'm done, I'm gone. They give us one shot and then it's over. But once again, go back to Accountable Commentaries channel. He showed a video of a Black female. She was talking about how she likes to date, he calls them brads. But she was doing these videos on this white guy that she dated. And she basically stated that he would use the N-word. He didn't like her hair. He talked about her hair. He talked about Black people. He had a friend who drove a truck with a Confederate flag on it. But yet, and they were all sitting in the truck smoking, and then they used the N-word, and she just sat there and listened. And all she did, all of these examples that she gave, she still stayed. She still stayed. And there's plenty of other people. Once again, I tell you, go to Accountable Commentaries channel because he does these videos showing how Black women treat white men. At least that's a lot of his videos. Or he has content that delves into that topic. And not saying anything that we have not already known. They give white men time after time and try after try, no matter how many red flags they exhibit. But we get one shot and then they're out the door. Just want to add this point too, because I just remember this. On Accountable Commentaries channel as well, he was talking about a video and he was talking to this, he was showing this Black female, he was showing the video and doing excuse me, he was just doing a commentary on her video. And one of the things she said why she likes dating white men, she basically said this. She said they're nicer. And I was like, really? How? And then she also said too, they're quicker. They engage relationships quicker. And so here's the problem that I have with that statement, because I'm totally confused because when I've run into videos, not even just videos online, but I've seen videos online about this, and I've even experienced it in my real personal life in dealing with Black females. They don't want to be rushed into a relationship. It's like, oh my God, they're like, I'm just taking my time. I'm living my life. I don't want to rush things. Take it slow, take it slow. And if you try to rush things, that is a turnoff to them. But yet now here's a Black woman saying, oh, the white guys want to wife us down quicker. Make your mind up. Like I'm literally confused. I'm literally confused on what it is that you want. Do you want to be, do you want us to wipe you down quicker, or you want us to take your time and not try to rush you and lock you down so fast? And in those videos, she just kept providing contradictory statements to things that I've experienced in the real world. And it all goes back to, I think that people, and particularly Black women, I think that they're using the Black women who divest. So let me be specific. The Black women who divest and want to justify sleeping with white men, I think that they have to take the position of, I have to defend this no matter what, because they don't want to look wrong. So no matter what these white guys do, they cannot be wrong in these Black women's eyes. If they rush relationships too fast, the Black women, make that into a positive, and they turn us taking our time and taking it slow in a relationship into a negative. I've personally experienced where a black female told me that she liked the white guy over me because he spoiled her. And she said she met him and I both at the same time. And so I'm like, well, I've only known you for a month and a half. And so he's spoiling you at a month and a half and hasn't gotten a commitment from you. And here you are telling both of us that you want to have two boyfriends and you don't want to give either one of us up. Number one, I'm not going to compete with another man like that. If you don't know who you want to be with, then obviously you don't feel good enough about me to want to be with me. And that's just the way I felt. So I backed out of the relationship, or backed out of talking to the situationship, whatever it is that you want to call it. But once you start out leading with over spoiling someone that you're not committed to, you have to keep that up in perpetuity for the remainder of the relationship. My thing is, and this is the philosophy I'm coming at it from, is when you decide that you want to be exclusive with me and you're committed to wanting to be with me and be my woman, then that's when you can get my resources. But I'm not giving you resources and all you've done with me is kissed in a parking lot, made out in the back seat of cars and standing outside in parking lots. I can't do that. You have to show some type of commitment towards me as a female wanting to be, as a man and you want to be my female. Or my lady, whatever it is that you want to call it. But these are the contradictions that we experience from black women. So it's kind of like, well, make your mind up. What is it that you want? You want all of this autonomy, or do you want relationships? Do you want your independence, or you want to be? It seems like they want to cherry pick when they want to be in a relationship and when they don't, and specifically when it comes to dealing with white men over black men. So I just wanted to make this video. I knew this one wasn't going to be short. I try to keep them short because I know you guys don't like to hear me talk all like that. But definitely, if you have any comments, feedback, drop them in the comments section. Also hit the like and subscribe. I'm trying to keep pushing forward with making content. Like I've told people in the comment section, it gets hard just doing these commentaries because just for one, it's sometimes I like to do my series called Hollywood in Black and White, and that requires me to review, and I like to also point out things with interracial dating and the history with black people, and it causes me to have to watch content that I really don't want to see or that angers me. One being the ghetto gagger stuff, which I've told people about that I've watched. And trust me, I like adult content just as much as probably other people, even though I'm trying not to watch it because I think it pollutes the mind. But definitely watching ghetto gaggers is not a highlight of my day. Watching the Good Times reboot, which I'm ashamed that Bernadette Stannis was involved in. I'm not surprised Jimmy Walker was involved in that. No surprise at that at all. But Steph Curry was involved in that. That dude Slink Johnson from Black Jesus was involved in it. I've heard a few other voices on there, but I'm not even going to run down the list. But I'm just disappointed that a lot of people were involved in that. And just having to watch a lot of other stuff like Monsters Ball. Didn't want to watch that. Make me feel good. I don't need to see all that. It just frustrates me the way our people act. And what frustrates me even more is the comments sometimes that I get from you all. Because as soon as I start talking about interracial relationships, y'all lose y'all's mind. And I'm going to do a video on why interracial relationships are here to stay. They definitely are. I'm going to do a video on that. Hopefully I can get that done because that's going to be very short. It's going to be short and sweet. But once again, this is the Political Brown Kid. Have a good day.